That's not what we started to teach, which was that every baby is, I don't know, let's not even put it on the birth certificate. That's what they wanted.
Were we teaching that?
Yes, we were.
When were we teaching that?
Teaching it, it was a law here in California. See,
to teach what?
Don't put on the birth certificate.
Bill Maher is laying out, in unmistakably blunt terms, why he's finally distancing himself from the modern left. And the reasons are far more explosive than anyone anticipated. Sure, he's clashed with progressives for years, but few thought he would actually reach the breaking point. Now he's openly admitting what many only whispered about. He believes the left has abandoned clarity, logic, and reality, and if they don't correct course soon, whatever influence they still have could collapse entirely. Buckle up. This one hits harder than most of his critiques.
This country is not as mature as it thinks it is. We elected Obama, and clearly the country freaked out. We're still living in that freak out. We are not as progressed and evolved and intelligent as we think we are because we keep freaking out about this stuff.
Well,
you know?
The left freak out too. The left freaked out about a lot of too.
What did they freak out about?
Gender, race, parenthood, schools, homelessness, crime, the border, education. Like we stopped being a scientific.
Maher begins by listing the many issues that pushed him away from the left, but he closes on a point that hits like a hammer. In his view, the left has stopped believing in science itself. Whether people agree with him or not, he argues it's impossible to ignore when some activists claim biological facts can simply be dismissed, or that identity can be changed instantly just by declaring it so. At some point, he says, you can't pretend the conversation is still grounded in reality. Eventually, you're forced to acknowledge what he believes has happened, a rejection of basic scientific truth.
It's not scientific.
But the left certainly stayed scientific.
No, they didn't.
Why not?
Because they think gender that they went way too far with, that's not scientific.
Here, Maher makes it absolutely clear that he sees the left's focus on gender identity as a major reason for their election loss. He argues they pushed the conversation far beyond common sense, drifting into territory average Americans never asked for and didn't support. Instead of prioritizing real-world problems, economic pressures, public safety, education, the left invested everything into redefining biological terms and demanding universal agreement. Maher says this overreach didn't just frustrate moderates. It drove voters away in massive numbers. By elevating a niche ideological agenda into a national expectation, he believes the left effectively engineered its own defeat, and the election results proved it.
It's not what we started to teach, which was that every baby is, I don't know, let's not even put it on the birth certificate. That's what they wanted.
Were we teaching that?
Yes, we were.
When were we teaching that?
Teaching it, it was a law here in California. See,
to teach what?
Don't put on the birth certificate. We'll see. Now, we've passed that period now.
I'm sorry, I don't remember that. I mean,
I know, because it doesn't get in the blue sky bubble.
Wait a minute, I'm not just on blue sky.
I really think that's a lot of it, is that some of this stuff doesn't get in to everybody's media.
According to Maher, the left is now scrambling to distance itself from the very positions it once defended aggressively. The same voices that insisted these ideas were absolute truth are suddenly pretending they never said them. Today, they act like the debates over gender identity never happened, as if the internet doesn't exist and nobody remembers. But anyone paying attention knows exactly what happened. Just a few years ago, it was treated like a moral mission: question anything and you were an enemy. Now that backlash is unavoidable and political consequences are real, those activists are retreating and rewriting history.
Here's capitalist South Korea at night from space. Here's socialist North Korea. Yeah. In 1990, Venezuela was wealthier than Poland. But then Poland, finally free of Soviet-style economics, went all in on capitalism. And now their economy is as big as Japan. And people there have high wages, low inflation, cars, vacations, homes. Meanwhile, Venezuela traded capitalism for Hugo Chavez's Socialism for the 21st Century, which turned out to be like socialism in the last century or any century, a mess.
Maher says another major reason he's done with the left is its sudden obsession with socialism. He argues that socialism isn't just problematic in theory, it's a political catastrophe waiting to happen. Instead of energizing Democrats, he believes it weighs them down and drags the party into dangerous territory. Americans have seen what this ideology leads to in other countries, and most have no interest in risking their own future. Yet, Maher says the left keeps doubling down, ignoring the clear backlash. To him, clinging to socialism isn't just misguided, it's self-destruction in slow motion.
It turned one of Latin America's richest countries into one of its poorest. Low wages, high inflation, shortages, outages, 8 million people fleeing. If you think New York can somehow reinvent this wheel, you're in for a rude awakening.
He points to New York as a perfect example. Lawmakers there act like they've invented a new, improved version of socialism, one cleaner, smarter, and magically immune to the failures that destroyed other nations. But Maher calls this fantasy. He argues New York is heading straight toward the same economic traps and heavy government overreach that have doomed socialist experiments across history. No matter how it's packaged or rebranded, he says, the end result is always identical. Financial strain, massive bureaucracy, and shrinking personal freedom. New York isn't fixing socialism. It's repeating it, and the ending has already been written.
For 66 years, Playboy magazine was also a fact of American life. Sears sold your father a mattress, and Playboy was what he hid under it. It was a surefire product. Pictures of and then 25 cartoons about Santa Claus. Plus real journalism. You could read an interview with Carter while enjoying photos of Bush. But then it started messing around with the formula. Like the Democratic Party, Playboy decided they didn't need straight men anymore.
Here, Maher places responsibility for what he calls the woke virus squarely on the Democratic Party. He believes they abandoned the practical concerns of everyday Americans, jobs, safety, affordability, and instead dived headfirst into ideological battles most citizens never asked for. Instead of focusing on policy, Democrats became fixated on gender identity debates, making them the centerpiece of national politics. Maher argues this obsession seeped into every corner of American culture, even reshaping iconic brands. Playboy, once a mainstream cultural symbol, transformed into an echo of far-left ideology. For Maher, this cultural shift shows just how far Democrats have drifted from real-world priorities and how much they've alienated the voters they claim to represent.
Put transgender women and gay men on the cover, and predictably sales, like their subscribers, collapsed. The staff began using terms like intersectionality, positivity, and privileging, and in response, Playboy readers used terms like no thanks, get the out of here, and bye-bye. At one point, Playboy, yes, Playboy, even dropped the which is like cigar aficionado announcing, we're getting rid of the cigars. It went from entertainment for men to re-education for nobody, and enlightened their way to unpopularity. Meanwhile, Kim Kardashian posed for another magazine and broke the internet with her ass.
According to Maher, companies that eagerly embraced the woke agenda paid a heavy price, financially and culturally. Jumping into ideological activism wasn't just a branding mistake. It was economic suicide. Major corporations that once dominated their fields suddenly pushed away loyal customers, diluted their identities, and drifted far from the values that made them successful. Playboy lost the audience that sustained it for decades. Budweiser suffered one of the biggest consumer backlashes in modern history after forcing political messaging into its branding. Even Sears, once a powerhouse, collapsed after chasing cultural trends instead of focusing on business fundamentals. Maher argues these companies misread the public completely, and the market punished them brutally.
Sometimes you gotta give the people what they want. But for some weird reason, it's apparently tempting for some people to not do that, because even Cracker Barrel recently decided that they felt a little embarrassed that it was so popular with bumpkins who salivate at the sight of an old wagon wheel screwed to the wall. So they changed it to this, which got them no new customers while pissing off the old ones. It reminded me of when Chuck Schumer said in 2016 that For every blue-collar Democrat we lose in Western Pennsylvania, we're going to pick up 2 moderate Republicans in the suburbs of Philly, Ohio, Illinois, and Wisconsin. Yeah, how'd that work out?
While Donald Trump was out campaigning with clear, practical policies on jobs, the economy, and national security, the left was pouring its energy into educating the country about gender politics and trans participation in sports. While those debates mattered to a small activist circle, they had little relevance to the millions of Americans worried about paying bills, rising crime, or the direction of the country. Maher says this disconnect played a major role in the election outcome. By prioritizing niche ideological topics over everyday issues, the left handed Trump a massive advantage. The result was a landslide that shocked them, leaving progressives confused about why their message failed so spectacularly. Maher sees it as a warning. Ignore real-life concerns, and voters will leave you behind.
At least Cracker Barrel had the sense to immediately say, "Oh, sorry," and put the sling blades back on the wall. Democrats don't seem to be doing that. They still seem to want to be that upscale store that impresses celebrities. Anybody remember Barney's? It was this store in New York that started in the 1920s, as a discount clothing joint on unfashionable, grimy 7th Avenue, a place where their customers, the working man, could get a decent suit at a very reasonable price. I remember going there in 1993 to get my wardrobe for a new show Comedy Central was launching called Politically Incorrect.
Maher argues that the DNC should have taken its losses as a wake-up call. Instead of correcting course, he believes the party is doubling down on the exact same strategies that pushed voters away. To him, it's political madness. After being rejected for pushing woke ideology, he says the party is now drifting even further left, toward socialism. Rather than reconnecting with ordinary Americans worried about inflation, safety, and economic stability, the DNC is absorbed in ideological experiments that few support. Maher warns this isn't just a strategic mistake. It's a sign the party has lost touch with reality. If they continue down this path, he believes they'll repeat their failures, weaken themselves further, and risk their future entirely. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.